My mom has been having an affair with my husband for 8 years, since before we got married. She encouraged me to marry him. My dad just found out and he's not my biological father, my husband is. I'm 32 years old and my entire existence is a lie. My name is Rachel, and 3 days ago, my world exploded into a million pieces that I'll never be able to put back together. I'm sitting in a hotel room right now. I can't go home. I can't face either of them. My phone has 247 missed calls and I've stopped counting the text messages. I haven't showered in 2 days. There's a half-eaten container of Chinese food on the nightstand that I ordered yesterday and forgot about. Let me back up to the moment everything fell apart. It was a Tuesday. Normal Tuesday? I was at work managing the marketing team at a mid-sized tech company. My boss Jennifer had just approved my pitch for the new campaign. I was feeling good, accomplished. I texted my husband Marcus, told him I'd pick up Thai food on the way home to celebrate. He responded with a heart emoji. That's it. Just a heart. I should have known something was wrong. Marcus always texted in full sentences. He'd make fun of people who used excessive emojis, but I was too excited about work to notice. I got home around 6:30. Marcus's car was in the driveway, which was weird because Tuesday was his gym night. He never missed gym night. But again, I didn't think much of it. The front door was unlocked. I walked in with the bags of Thai food, calling out his name. No answer. I put the food on the kitchen counter, and that's when I heard voices coming from upstairs. From our bedroom, my stomach dropped. You know that feeling when your body knows something before your brain catches up? That I crept up the stairs. Each step felt like it took an hour. The bedroom door was slightly open, and I could hear my mother's voice. My mother, Amber. She was crying, saying something about how they couldn't keep doing this, how it was killing her, how she couldn't look at Dad anymore. I pushed the door open. They were sitting on our bed, fully clothed, thank God, but sitting way too close. Marcus had his hand on her knee. My mother's mascara was running down her face. They both looked at me like deer in headlights. Rachel, my mom said, standing up so fast she knocked over a glass of water on the nightstand. Honey, this isn't— How long? I heard myself say. My voice didn't sound like mine. It sounded robotic, detached. Marcus stood up too. He was pale. I'd never seen him look like that. Rachel, please sit down. We need to talk. How long? I screamed at this time. My mother started crying harder. Baby, please don't call me that. Answer the question. Marcus ran his hand through his hair. He does that when he's nervous. Did that, past tense. Everything's past tense now. 8 years, he whispered. The room started spinning. 8 years. We'd been married for 7. Before the wedding? I asked, even though I already knew. He nodded. I looked at my mother. At this woman who raised me, who taught me how to braid my hair and helped me with my homework and threw me a surprise party for my 30th birthday. You knew, I said to her. You knew when you helped me pick out my wedding dress. When you gave that speech at the reception about how Marcus was the perfect man for me. When you encouraged me to accept his proposal. She couldn't even look at me. That's when I ran. Grabbed my purse and keys and just ran. I heard them both calling after me, but I didn't stop. I got in my car and drove. I didn't know where I was going. I just drove until I found this hotel off the highway. That was 3 days ago. This morning my dad called. Not my mom. Not Marcus, my dad. The man who raised me. The man who taught me how to ride a bike and walked me down the aisle and called me his little girl even though I'm 32 years old. His name came up on my screen and I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Rachel, he said, and his voice was shaking. I need to see you. Right now. There's something you need to know. Dad, I can't deal with this right now. Rachel, please. This is important. This is about your mother and Marcus, but it's worse than you think? Worse than I think? How could it possibly be worse? But there was something in his voice. Something that made my blood run cold. I gave him the hotel address. He showed up 40 minutes later. He looked like he'd aged 10 years since I last saw him at Sunday dinner 2 weeks ago. His eyes were red. His hands were shaking as he sat down on the edge of the bed. Dad, what's going on? He pulled out an envelope from his jacket pocket. His hands were trembling so badly he almost dropped it. Yesterday, he started, his voice cracking. Yesterday I confronted your mother about Marcus, about the affair, and she broke down. She told me everything. I don't understand. Rachel, 25 years ago, your mother and I were trying to have a baby. We tried for 3 years. Nothing worked. We saw specialists. Did all the tests. The problem was me. I can't have children. My heart started pounding. What are you saying? We were going to do IVF. We talked about adoption, but your mother was depressed. She was working as a real estate agent and she met this young guy, a 24-year-old client looking for his first apartment. His name was Marcus. No, Dad, stop. Please stop. She had an affair with him. Just once, she said. One time. She felt guilty immediately. Ended it. Told him never to contact her again. And then 6 weeks later, she found out she was pregnant. The room was spinning again. I thought I might throw up. She never told me, he continued. She let me believe you were mine. We were so happy. I was so happy. And then 3 years ago, Marcus showed up at an open house she was hosting. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt tight, like someone was sitting on it. She said he recognized her immediately. Started showing up at her work. Said he wanted to get to know his daughter. Wanted to be part of your life. She kept telling him no. But then he orchestrated a meeting with you. The coffee shop, I whispered. 5 years ago, I met Marcus at that coffee shop near my office. He spilled coffee on my laptop. Dad nodded. It wasn't an accident. He planned it. Your mother found out a week later when he called her and told her. Said he was going to date you. Fall in love with you. And there was nothing she could do about it because telling you the truth would destroy everything. I was going to be sick. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. Everything. The little I'd eaten in the past 3 days. I don't know how long I was in there. When I came out, my dad was crying silently, his face in his hands. He blackmailed her, Dad said. Told her if she tried to stop the relationship or tell you the truth, he'd expose everything. He'd tell you. Tell me. Destroy our family? So she gave in. She started sleeping with him again to keep him quiet, to try to maintain some control of the situation. Why didn't she just tell me? I sobbed. Why didn't she just tell me the truth from the beginning? She was scared. And then when you got engaged, she tried to stop it. Don't you remember? She tried to convince you to wait, to slow down. But you were so in love, you told her Marcus was the one. And she couldn't find the words. She encouraged you to marry him because she thought that was what you wanted and she couldn't see a way out. I felt like I was drowning. Oh my God, I'm married to my biological father. Rachel, I've been sleeping with my father for 5 years. We tried to have a baby last year. We were trying to have a baby. Dad stood up and tried to hug me, but I pushed him away. Did you know? I demanded. Did you know any of this? No, I swear to you, I found out yesterday. Your mother confessed everything. She couldn't take it anymore. The guilt was eating her alive. She wanted to end things with Marcus and he threatened to tell you himself, so she told me first. I sank to the floor, just collapsed. Everything I thought I knew about my life was a lie. Every memory was tainted. Every moment was fake. My dad knelt beside me. I'm still your father, he said. Biology doesn't change that. I raised you. I love you. You're my daughter. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to find comfort in those words, but all I could think about was Marcus, about how he'd manipulated everything, how he'd destroyed my life on purpose. He's a monster, I said. Yes, Dad agreed. He is. I need to confront him. I need to— Rachel, no. Stay away from him, please. Let me handle this. But I wasn't listening anymore. I was already grabbing my keys. My dad tried to stop me, but I was faster. I ran to my car and drove straight to my house. Our house? The house Marcus and I bought 2 years ago. His car was there. So was my mother's. I used my key to open the door and walked in. They were in the living room, on the couch. They jumped apart when they saw me. Rachel, Marcus said, standing up. Let me explain. You knew, I screamed. You knew you were my father and you dated me anyway. You married me. What kind of sick person does that? My mother was crying again, always crying. Rachel, please, shut up, I said to her. Just shut up. You're just as guilty. You could have stopped this at any point. You could have told me. You could have protected me from him, but you didn't. You let this happen. Marcus took a step toward me and I backed away. Don't come near me. Don't ever come near me again. Rachel, I know this is hard to understand. Hard to understand? You groomed me. You manipulated me. You blackmailed my mother. You destroyed my entire family. For what? What was the point of all this? For the first time, I saw something flicker in his eyes. Something cold. You want to know the truth? He said, and his voice was different now. Harder. Your mother ruined my life. I was 24 years old. I had my whole life ahead of me. And she seduced me. She was older, married. She pursued me. And when she got pregnant, she threw me away like garbage. Told me to never contact her again. That you weren't my responsibility. So you stalked me? You married your own daughter to get revenge? I wanted to be part of your life. I wanted to know you. And when I saw how successful you were, how happy your family was, how your father got to be your dad instead of me, I wanted to take something from her. I wanted her to feel what I felt. I stared at him. This man I thought I loved. This man I'd shared my life with. He was a stranger. Worse than a stranger. He was a predator. You're insane, I whispered. Maybe, he said. But you fell in love with me anyway. You chose me. You married me. That's not on me. That's on you. I slapped him. Hard. My palm connected with his cheek and the sound echoed through the house. He didn't even flinch. Just smiled. Like he'd won. I turned to my mother. How much did he pay you? She looked confused. What? To keep quiet? To keep sleeping with him? How much? Rachel, there was no money. He threatened to destroy everything. You could have told Dad. You could have told me. At any point in the last 5 years, you could have stopped this. But you didn't. You know why? Because you were enjoying it. You wanted him too. She shook her head violently. No, that's not true. I hated every second. Liar, I said. You're a liar. Both of you. You deserve each other. I walked out, got in my car, drove back to the hotel, and that's where I've been for the past 12 hours trying to figure out what to do next. I called a lawyer this morning, explained the situation. She was silent for a long time after I finished. Then she said, I've been practicing family law for 20 years and I've never heard anything like this. She's filing for an annulment. Apparently, marriage to a biological parent is automatically void. Like it never existed, which is what I want. I want to erase every moment of the past 5 years. But here's the thing that's been eating at me. The thing I can't stop thinking about. Last year when we were trying to have a baby, I had a miscarriage. At 8 weeks, I was devastated. Marcus held me while I cried, told me we'd try again, that we'd have a beautiful family someday. Now I can't stop wondering, was that baby okay? Or was something wrong with it because of what we were? I called a genetic counselor, left a message. I need to know. I need to understand what happened. My phone is buzzing again. It's my dad. He's been texting me every hour, asking if I'm okay, telling me he loves me, that he's here for me. Part of me wants to see him, to let him hug me, to pretend for just a moment that everything is okay. But everything isn't okay. Everything will never be okay again. Because here's what nobody tells you about finding out your entire life is a lie. It's not just the big moments that are ruined. It's everything. It's every memory, every photo, every holiday, every birthday, every single moment of my 32 years on this earth is now tainted with this knowledge. When I was 16 and Marcus would have been 40, where was he? What was he doing? Was he thinking about me? Was he planning this even then? When I graduated college, when I got my first job, when I moved into my first apartment, was he watching, waiting? The coffee shop meeting 5 years ago wasn't chance. It was calculated. He orchestrated everything. Every single moment of our relationship was built on a lie. And my mother, God, my mother, she watched me fall in love with my own father and said nothing. She helped me pick out my wedding dress. She walked me down the aisle alongside Dad. She gave a speech about how Marcus was perfect for me. How do you forgive something like that? How do you move past it? I don't think you do. There's a bottle of wine on the desk that I bought from the liquor store down the street. I've been staring at it for an hour. I don't usually drink alone, but then again, I don't usually find out my entire existence is built on incest and lies. I pour myself a glass, then another, my phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer. But I'm drunk now and feeling reckless, so I pick up. Rachel? It's a woman's voice. Unfamiliar. Who is this? My name is Brittany. I'm Marcus's ex-wife. I sit up straight. What? I saw your wedding announcement online years ago. I've been following your life on social media. I know that sounds creepy, but I had to make sure you were okay. And then yesterday I saw your mother's Facebook post. She wrote something cryptic about secrets and lies, and I knew he'd done it again. Done what again? My heart is pounding. Rachel, you're not the first. You're not the first daughter. The room starts spinning. What are you talking about? Marcus and I were married for 3 years. We had a daughter, Madison. She's 19 now. When Madison was 15, I caught him grooming her. Inappropriate text messages, comments about her body. I took Madison and left immediately. Got a restraining order. Full custody. I can't breathe. Where's Madison now? Safe. She's in college. In therapy. She'll never be the same, but she's alive and she's safe. When I heard he'd remarried, I tried to warn you. I sent you a Facebook message 3 years ago. Did you get it? I tried to remember. 3 years ago. Right after Marcus and I got married. I got so many messages and friend requests during that time. I don't remember. It's okay. He probably deleted it. He had access to your accounts, didn't he? He did. We shared passwords. He said it was about trust. About having nothing to hide. Oh God. Brittany, there's something you need to know. About Marcus and me. About who he really is to me. I told her everything. The affair with my mother. The biological connection. The blackmail. All of it. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, that monster. That absolute monster. Rachel, you need to go to the police. This is beyond a civil matter. This is criminal. I don't know if I can. I don't know know if I have the strength. You do. You have to. Because if you don't, he'll do this to someone else. He'll destroy another life, another family. She was right. I knew she was right. We talked for another hour. She told me everything about her marriage to Marcus, how he'd been charming at first, attentive, perfect. And then slowly, the mask started slipping, the control, the manipulation, the way he isolated her from her friends and family. It was the exact same pattern he'd used with me. I just hadn't seen it because I was too close, too in love, too blind. After I hung up with Brittany, I sat in the dark hotel room for a long time, thinking, processing, planning. Then I called the police. The detective who answered was named Jessica Torres. She listened to my entire story without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "Ms. Rachel, I'm going to need you to come down to the station. We need to get an official statement, and we need to discuss what charges we can pursue. What kind of charges? Fraud, coercion, depending on the circumstances and the timeline, possibly worse. But I won't know until we talk in detail." I drove to the police station at 11 p.m. Detective Torres was waiting for me. She was younger than I expected, maybe early 40s. She had kind eyes. We sat in an interview room and I told her everything again. Every detail. She took notes, asked questions. She was professional but warm. When I finished, she sat back in her chair. "This is one of the most disturbing cases I've encountered. I'm going to be honest with you. Prosecution is going to be complicated. The relationship was technically consensual, even though it was based on lies and manipulation. But the fraud aspect, the blackmail of your mother, that's where we have leverage. What about the marriage? It's illegal, right? Marriage to a biological parent? It is. But proving that Marcus knew about the biological connection is going to be tricky. It'll be his word against your mother's. She'll testify." "I'll make sure she testifies." Detective Torres nodded. "I'll need to speak with her and with your father, and we'll need DNA tests to confirm the biological relationship. DNA tests. Physical proof that the man I married is my father. The man I loved. The man I slept with." I felt sick again. "There's something else," I said. "He has an ex-wife and a daughter. He was inappropriate with his daughter when she was a minor. The ex-wife got a restraining order." Detective Torres leaned forward. "Do you have her contact information?" I gave her Brittany's number. "She'll talk to you. She wants to help. This changes things. If there's a pattern of behavior, if there are other victims, we can build a stronger case. Other victims." That's what I was, a victim. It didn't feel real. I still felt like I should have known, should have seen the signs, should have protected myself. But how do you protect yourself from someone who's been planning to destroy you since before you even knew they existed? Detective Torres sent me home, well, to my hotel, around 2 a.m. She said they'd start investigating immediately, that they'd bring Marcus in for questioning, that I should stay somewhere safe and not contact him or my mother. I couldn't sleep. Just lay in the hotel bed, staring at the ceiling, watching the shadows from car headlights move across the walls. At 7 a.m., my phone rang. It was my dad. "Rachel, the police were just here. They took your mother in for questioning." "I know, Dad. I went to them last night." He was quiet for a moment. "Good, that's good. She needs to face consequences for what she did. What about you? Are you okay?" He laughed, but there was no humor in it. No, I'm not okay. My wife had an affair with her daughter's husband, who is also her daughter's biological father. My entire marriage was based on a lie. So no, Rachel, I'm not okay. But I'm worried about you. I'm at a hotel. I'm safe. Come home. Come to the house. Your real home, where you grew up. You shouldn't be alone right now." Part of me wanted to. Wanted to go back to my childhood bedroom and pretend I was 15 again, and none of this had ever happened. But I couldn't. That house was full of memories too. Memories that were now corrupted. I can't, Dad. Not yet. "Okay, but I'm here. Whenever you're ready, I'm here." After we hung up, I finally managed to fall asleep for a few hours. When I woke up, it was afternoon and my phone was full of messages. One from my lawyer. The annulment papers were ready. One from Detective Torres. They'd arrested Marcus. He was being charged with fraud and coercion. They were also investigating the situation with his ex-wife's daughter. One from Brittany, thanking me, saying that Madison wanted to talk to me if I was ready. One from my boss, Jennifer, asking if I was okay, if I needed time off. Someone had leaked the story to the local news. I opened my laptop, searched my name, and there it was. Headlines everywhere. Woman discovers. Husband is her biological father. Mother's affair leads to decades-long deception. Tech executive embroiled in incest scandal. They had my name, my photo, everything. I shut the laptop, threw it across the room, watched it hit the wall and crack. This was it. This was my life now. Public humiliation on top of everything else. I wanted to disappear, to change my name and move to another country and start over where no one knew me. But Detective Torres's words kept echoing in my head. If you don't come forward, he'll do this to someone else. I thought about Madison, about Brittany, about whatever other women might be out there trapped in Marcus's web. I couldn't let that happen. So I called Detective Torres back. "I want to do an interview. I want to tell my story publicly. Are you sure?" "That's a lot of pressure. I'm sure. People need to know what he is, what he's capable of." She connected me with a reporter, a woman named Amanda Chen from a major news network. Amanda called me that evening. "Rachel, I want to thank you for being willing to speak out. I know this must be incredibly difficult." "It is, but it needs to be done." We scheduled the interview for 2 days later. It would be recorded and aired during prime time. Amanda warned me that it would go viral, that people would have opinions, that some might blame me. I didn't care anymore. Let them blame me. Let them say whatever they wanted. The truth needed to come out. The night before the interview, my mother called. It was the first time I'd spoken to her since the confrontation. "Rachel," she said, and her voice was broken, destroyed. Please talk to me. I need to explain." "There's nothing to explain. I was scared. I was so scared. And I made terrible choices. But you have to believe me. I never wanted this. I never wanted any of this. You had so many chances to stop it, to tell the truth, to protect me. And you chose him. Every single time you chose him over me. That's not true. I was trying to protect you. If I told you the truth, it would have destroyed you. And this didn't. Finding out the way I did, that was better." She was crying. Again, always crying. Like her tears would fix anything. "I don't know what to say," she whispered. "Then don't say anything. Just testify against him. Tell the police everything. Help them put him away. That's the only thing you can do for me now." "I will. I promise I will." "Good. Goodbye, Mom." I hung up before she could respond. Changed my number immediately after. I didn't want to hear from her again. Not now. Maybe not ever. The interview with Amanda Chen happened in a studio downtown. They did my makeup, put me in nice clothes, made me look presentable even though I felt like I was falling apart inside. Amanda was kind, professional. She asked the hard questions but gave me space to answer, to tell my story in my own words. When it aired 3 days later, the response was overwhelming. overwhelming. My phone, my new number, somehow got leaked and people were calling. Some supportive, some cruel, some just curious. The story went viral. International news picked it up. I was everywhere. People were making TikToks about it, Reddit threads, Twitter discussions, YouTube reaction videos. My name was trending for the worst reason possible. But something else happened too. Other women started coming forward. Women who'd dated Marcus in the past. Women who'd experienced his manipulation, his control, his cruelty. One woman, Jessica, said Marcus had convinced her to cut off her entire family, that he'd isolated her completely before she finally escaped. Another, Melissa, said he'd drained her bank accounts, convinced her to put everything in his name, then left her with nothing. There were 5 women in total, 5 victims besides me and Madison. Detective Torres called me with updates. The charges against Marcus were mounting: fraud, coercion, financial abuse, and they were building a case for his behavior with Madison too. He's going away for a long time, she told me. You helped make that happen, but I didn't feel victorious. I just felt empty, hollowed out, like someone had scooped out everything inside me and left just a shell. A month later, Marcus took a plea deal. 15 years in prison. He'd be almost 60 when he got out. My mother testified against him, told them everything about the blackmail, the affair, all of it. She was granted immunity in exchange for her cooperation. My dad, the man who raised me, filed for divorce. I didn't blame him. How could he stay married to her after everything? He called me after the divorce was finalized. I want you to know, he said, that you're still my daughter. Biology doesn't matter. You'll always be my little girl. I cried. For the first time in weeks, I cried real tears. Not angry tears or frustrated tears. Just sad, grieving tears. I love you, Dad, I said. I love you too, sweetheart. It's been 6 months now since everything fell apart. I'm living in a new city, new job, new name. I changed it legally. I'm someone else now. Someone without that past. I'm in therapy twice a week, working through everything. The trauma, the betrayal, the violation of it all. My therapist says healing isn't linear, that some days I'll feel okay and some days I'll feel like I'm drowning. She's right. Today is an okay day. I had coffee with a new friend this morning. Someone who doesn't know my story, who just knows me as the person I am now. We talked about normal things. Her job, her apartment hunt, the new restaurant downtown that has amazing pasta. For an hour, I felt almost normal. Almost like a regular person with a regular life. But then I came home and saw the news alert on my phone. Marcus's appeal was denied. He'd be serving his full sentence. And just like that, I was back there. Back in that moment when my dad told me the truth, when my entire world collapsed. I don't know if I'll ever fully move past this. How do you recover from something like that? How do you trust anyone again when the 2 people who were supposed to protect you, your mother and your husband, were the ones who destroyed you? I don't have answers. I just have today and tomorrow. And the day after that, one day at a time. That's what my therapist says. One day at a time. Some days I think about what my life could have been. If Marcus had never found my mother again, if she'd told the truth from the beginning, if I'd never met him at that coffee shop. But then I remember that coffee shop meeting wasn't fate. It wasn't chance. It was calculated, planned, orchestrated. There was never a version of this story where I won, where I came out. Okay. Marcus made sure of that the moment he decided to pursue me. He stole my life, my past, my present, my future, all of it. Gone. But here's the thing he didn't count on. I'm still here. Broken, damaged, changed forever, but still here. And every day that I wake up and choose to keep going is a day that he loses. Every moment of happiness I manage to find is a victory he can't take away. It's not much, but it's something. And right now, something is enough.